All right, everybody, we are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. And on today's show, I have a special guest. Stop that. You're echoing, Jenna. But we have
Am
the
I?
African, yeah, just a little bit. But we have the African superstar on with us this afternoon, and the topic is things are not improving for us in the West. What are what are our options?
Yes. What's up? Am I still
What's up?
echoing, Dinah? Is it all
A,
right?
a little.
I don't know what
You
to
have
do.
you have any earpiece,
Let me
some earphones?
hold on. Yeah, I can add those. Hold on just a second. Let me.
Yeah, and guys, make sure you hit that like button as you come to the chat room. Okay, I shouldn't have to beg for likes. I mean, you come to the chat room, hit the like button. If you're new,
Oh, the protocols by now.
wow, yeah, you should know the protocol. If you're new, hit that subscribe button.
All right, Dinah, is that better?
Hello, hello, hello,
Is
hello.
it
Perfect,
is it
perfect. We
good?
good.
Okay, perfect. All
It's
right.
a whole lot
Love.
better. Yeah.
Okay. All right, perfect. Okay.
So, so
What's
you
up, Search for a Who family? How is
hmm,
everybody doing today? Big shout outs to my big brother Dynus.
what's good?
Um, I was just admiring that lovely mask he has.
It's about
On
the foot mask.
Yeah,
I'm
that is
gonna
fantastic. That's culture right there. You have such a lovely variety of African artifacts. Um, Tonight I actually contacted Dynus because I wanted to talk about this subject. Um, I think I hear it a lot actually through my channel. I have people coming on there that are adverse to options in Africa. Some of them are very derogatory about the prospect of going there. They talk about the Chinese being in Africa. And my question rather is to the diaspora, what exactly are our options in the West?
mhm.
Because things are not improving for us currently. Our ancestors
Whoa, whoa,
suffered.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you what our option is. See, me, I am a Hennessy colored, copper colored Moor. I am a
Oh,
copper colored Moor, chicken saw, Choctaw,
Hebrew
Omecan.
Israelite.
Omecan in America is Israel. And one day, Donald Trump is going to hand over America and the infrastructure to the indigenous Chickasaw, Choctaw, Hennessy colored, copper colored Moors from Turtle Island like me. It's going to
Wow.
happen. It's going to happen soon because this
Okay.
is Israel. America is Israel, and the Mississippi River is really the Nile River. The
Oh my
Mississippi
God.
River is, there are pyramids in the Grand Canyon. There are
Wow.
pyramids in the
That,
Grand Canyon.
that, it sounds like Antoine done put juju on you, man.
There are pyramids in the Grand Canyon.
It's soaked up in your head now, man. You know, on the channel too long now. They getting to you now. Um, but more or less, really, I just want to pose this question to people and ask them to be very mindful and cognizant. You know, the way I was brought up was my mom taught me to observe people that went before me. And I learned a lot of important lessons by doing that. I didn't have to necessarily experience everything and take every pitfall and try every avenue to see certain outcomes of things. And so I look at the history of Black people in America, for instance, and throughout the various decades and generations, Black people have been severely challenged on so many avenues. And I just want to ask, you know, what are going to be the options for us if we don't choose to explore Africa? What is going to be the options for us in America, for instance, when there are roadblocks on every avenue? You know, I watched recently watched one of your videos when you were talking about the property values
Mhm.
and the way they devalue homes and whatnot, and predominantly Black neighborhoods. I mean, this is another this is another blockage to us gaining wealth, and us having longevity in America. So, you know, I don't know. That's what I really wanted to talk about, because I do see a lot of promise for us outside of America, quite frankly. I'm someone in the international community, and just like you, I frequent Africa, and every time I go, especially a lot of the Search for Uhuru family is aware, I just recently returned from Ghana last week. I spent 2 weeks in Ghana. I was in Accra, I went to Kumasi. I have several videos on my channel of footage of Ghana and everything. And I know Dynas is much more partial to Nigeria, but the fact is, like, the continent of Africa has so much to offer. It has to do a lot with where you find your footing, and I remember seeing one of your video where you talked about you felt the most connected and you felt the most welcome in Nigeria. So it makes sense that is where you have begun your quest to, settle and whatnot. I have the same type of dynamic in Ghana. So it just depends. Some people have a lot more love in South Africa, or, they like, Zimbabwe or Zambia or Morocco. So it just varies.
I want to tell somebody something real quick, guys. So somebody asked about the real ID. As long as you have this star, make sure my stuff's covered real quick. As long as your driver license,
we know your name, Adewale.
I know, but I don't. Yeah. I know to make sure. As long as it has your license situation has this star on it, your real ID approved. Right there, you gotta have that star right there. But, okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, you're official. He's the real deal, y'all. He's not a troll. Not a troll.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I recently got back from Ghana, and the climate in Ghana is just so electric, and they have really been marketing the year of return to the diaspora, and a lot of Black Americans have taken that initiative and are traveling to Ghana. I ran into so many I connected with through social media and things like that. And it was just amazing, and it just goes to show there's a lot of people that are interested in prospects in the motherland, at least visiting, getting to see what it's like. And I had a tremendous visit. I mean, it was just the bomb. I didn't want to come back.
But tell us how was the trip? Like, where all did you go?
I was in Ghana for 2 weeks. Yeah, I celebrated my birthday there. So,
okay, how old are you now, African? How old are you now? Tell us.
I'm 36.
Okay.
So that's why I always respect Dynas and call my big brother. He's a little bit older than me, but
1 year.
Yeah, he's but that's respect, and
not even 1 year. I'm like 9 months.
Yeah.
8 months. I got you.
You still got to pay homage though, Dynas, because on the scale of the Pan-African movement, brother, you were moving before me, and you've moved up further. But the beautiful thing is, you always extend your hand to other people that are coming up behind you, and I highly respect you and your platform. I always shout you out on my videos. Those are my followers that are in the chat room. They can verify, because I recognize people that are pioneers and breaking barriers for our people. So it's a notable thing to recognize. But I think for us, those of us that are visionaries and those of us that are opportunists, we can definitely position ourselves to win in the motherland, regardless of what has been happening in the past. I don't think actually the diaspora has been showing such a level of interest into Africa until now. I think that this is really, a pivotal time where people are kind of, those that are fed up in the West, and they're now getting a lot of access to information through social media. It's motivating them to take that next step, and they're kind of understanding, well, I've had a lot of misinformation about Africa. Let me explore this option. So I think it's fantastic. I'm so motivated by what is happening. I'm so motivated.
All right, go ahead and continue on. And in fact, everyone, thank you who's slowly, we got people coming into the chat. Once again, thank you. Just make sure you hit that like button as you come in. But go ahead, Africa Superstar, go ahead. And guys, what we'll do in about 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, we'll take some calls. I know it's late out there.
No, it's okay. It's not too bad right now. It's about 10 o'clock, so that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I got time today.
Okay,
so,
cool. All right,
yeah, okay. But it's like a couple of our other videos were like a bit later, getting into like midnight, 1 o'clock, which I'll be so tired. I think that last video we did with with your homie Antoine.
Oh, Antoine. Oh, yeah, Antoine. Yeah. God bless him. God bless him. God bless Antoine.
I I saw the video with Amon Ra. Amon Ra was not feeling. He was not feeling. He was getting kind of like a little frustrated, like, man. But you know what? That's another question. I'm gonna go
Go
ahead
ahead.
and say, like, you got your platform popping. Why do these haters be coming on Dinah's platform? Okay,
I
because see,
don't know, because you know what? I don't troll other people's platforms. Like, I don't do it.
I don't get it. I'm just
Yeah, I
like,
don't be calling
okay.
in. I don't be in the chat room. Like, they just love to come over here. But that's okay. That's okay. You want to come
I
over?
just don't get it. Like they be like, so that means they gotta be subscribed because they be all in your chat room. They
Mm-hmm.
be all in your comments. I'm like, why don't you just find another platform to go to? Like, you know what the subject matter is going to be. You know what it's going to be. It's not changing.
Right.
So, I don't know. I guess they're obsessed. I guess it's your fan club, Prince Adewale.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. I guess so. It's all good. They are more than welcome. We have an open door policy here at Search for Who. You're more than welcome to join the
Woo,
chat. No problem. No problem.
woo. Did I know your trip is coming up here in August. I have to
Looking forward to it.
let your Search for Uhuru people. A couple people have contacted me. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to join Dynast.
Are you
I've
coming in
already
November?
told him I am going to plan for this saga with Nigeria, man. I'm just like, man, there must be something incredible for me there because every time I try to go, it's something. But the tickets right now here in the UK, it's
Are cheap. In November they're cheap.
yeah. I'm going to shoot for that. I have some other things coming up, but
No, you
I'm
don't.
definitely.
No, you don't.
I do,
Stop lying.
how you gonna hate on me like
No, you
that?
don't.
Dynast is like, yo, clear schedule, cancel
Yeah,
whatever you
no, you
got.
don't. You got
Just
something
meet
else.
me in
You
Nigeria.
ain't got nothing to do. No, you don't.
Meet me in Nigeria. No, yeah, but I did have a couple people like George Wyatt and a couple other people. I think there's another lady on my channel who's coming on your tour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't think of her name. But anyway, they contacted me and asked me because I had mentioned that, but the tickets were really expensive. So unfortunately, if you guys are looking for me in August, I'm not going to be in Nigeria, but I am still going to work towards meeting Dynast on his home turf in Oruro.
Oro.
Oruro. Dynast, when I get there, is White Jesus going to be around or what?
Absolutely not.
He's not there. Okay.
No.
All right.
White Jesus runs when I'm 10 toes down in Lagos, white in Nigeria. When I land at
There.
Murtala Muhammad Airport, white Jesus runs. He runs. He sprints to Ghana. He goes back
So
home to Ghana.
to Ghana. I saw White Jesus in Ghana on the
Oh,
Trotro, and
everywhere.
I thought about you. I got kind of like a little annoyed. I was like, well, come on, man. White Jesus.
Yeah. When I come to Nigeria, he runs.
Runs away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I feel you. The religion piece all over Africa is it's startling, and I really think in a lot of ways it's hindered our people because they're waiting for something that's not going to happen instead of taking the ingenuity to bring solutions to their local environments and things like that. So, what do you think, Dynast? Because you're definitely more on the American side. I mean, you're still traveling back and forth. What do you think? Black Americans, their potential in America in terms of.
I mean, it's a glass ceiling for us as a whole. I mean, it's
Yeah.
It was the system is doing what the system was designed to do.
Correct. And that's
the thing is, you got black people who are more concerned with non-black illegal aliens than they are black people in the black community. So it's just we don't want to win as a collective. Our politicians aren't doing anything. So
the politicians worldwide. I be always telling people that because I hear sometimes people are like, oh, the African leaders are corrupt. I'm like, the leaders in Europe are corrupt. The ones in America are corrupt. The ones in South America, it's a worldwide epidemic. That's not necessarily a reason for us to sit back on progress. Like, we as the individuals can do something. We can take initiative. I don't know. When I was in Ghana, for instance, I mean, because this is the year of return, there were just like so many people there. I noticed a lot of Black Americans. Of course, the Chinese are there. I saw a couple Indian people. So, kind of, what's the dynamic happening in Nigeria as far as the immigration from the foreigners over there? Do they have a decent
Listen,
presence?
Nigeria is the only place where I don't see white people. I might see
Wow.
one here. I might see one here or there. I don't see. I might see a couple Chinese here and there, but like I tell people, Nigeria is the blackest country on the planet.
I
That I
feel
ever.
that's because they be they be everywhere from Egypt to Kenya, definitely in South Africa, and they were in Ghana. I didn't, to be honest, I didn't see a lot of whites. I saw some Chinese and I saw some like a couple Indian people. And when I went to Kumasi, because I went down to Kumasi, I didn't see a lot of diversity down there. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
them
yeah.
more in Accra.
Kumasi's like it's gonna be primarily in Accra, and you'll see it in
Yeah,
Cape Coast. But Kumasi,
yeah,
yeah, Kumasi's pretty.
yeah. It's pretty like authentic, I'd say, like more authentic.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So, but I just, I more or less wanted to just encourage people to take a broad perspective. Like, if you don't want to explore options in Africa, what are your options in America? Like, are you going to supersede what's been happening generation after generation before us? You can talk to your parents, you can talk to your grandparents. We know the history of, or some of the history we know of the slave trade, the civil rights. So Black people have been perpetually challenged in America for for the duration of their presence there. And either you're going to choose to continue that fight forever, and even if there's all the talk about the reparations, and I'm like, okay, what's going to happen with reparations? If there is a reparations, what's going to happen? Somebody mentioned actually on another person's channel that with the reparations, the people will take it and spend it back in America.
I mean, but that's their prerogative. I'm taking my money and dipping.
Well, you got all the people that they don't want to be out. They want to be in America. So they're gonna funnel it right back into the American economy.
Hey, that's
So
that's their business. Amadou, Amadou, Bawoni,
I can't see your chat room right now
Equise. All
to
right, go
see.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
can't see your chat room to see who's in there with us. Let me see if I can get it up. Yeah, so when are you heading to Nigeria?
I'm leaving out August 6th, but I'm gonna go to. I'm thinking about going to Gabon or Burkina Faso first, and I'm gonna come to Nigeria on the 11th, which is the day before the tour starts.
Yeah,
So
on the 12th. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
sad.
I'm gonna try
I
to hit
was
another
supposed
country,
to
but
be.
at the same time, like I have a lot of stuff I need to take care of. So I don't know. Like I don't know yet. It's still kind of up in the air if I'm gonna go to another country or not because I just got business I got to take care of when I get to Nigeria.
Are you taking your tour to that waterfall?
Yep, yep. We are going. Yep.
That waterfall was so epic. I was like, damn, I didn't
Yeah,
see.
we're
You
going.
never even know this stuff is there. What's it
Yeah, we're
called?
going. Starts with I forgot the name of it. But yeah, we're going to the waterfall. I think
Is
it's
that in a?
Alumrin waterfall, Alumrin, something like that.
Yeah, that was just amazing. Is that in Oruro?
No, no, no. It's not in Oruro. It's not in Oruro. It's in Osun State, but not Oruro. It's like
Oh,
an
it's in
hour
Osun
away.
State.
Yeah, but it's in
Okay, yeah,
Osun.
that
Yeah,
that that waterfall was super
yeah,
lit.
Olumiri. Shout out to JJ Studio.
Shout out to JJ Studio. You remember what it's called? That's what's up. I saw that. I was looking forward to going in Nigeria. You and Fala Jiki are going to take me to that waterfall.
Yeah, of
I
course.
love I love waterfalls, so um, I definitely want to see that in Nigeria. I'm going to get there, Dinus, on your behalf.
I know you coming. You gotta come.
Yeah, I'm going. I promise.
You have to
I
come to our kingdom of
I actually
Owo. You
saw,
gotta come visit.
I actually saw Wodamaya in Ghana, so I
Uh-huh.
was really hype about that. And he said you guys have been in contact, but always missing each other and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Because he was in Nigeria too, but he was in like Abuja and Lagos, doing a lot of footage out there. So,
Mhm.
yeah, my trip in Ghana was super lit, man.
Mhm.
I didn't want to come back. I'm like, man, I need to sort out my
Well,
affairs.
when you went to Kumasi, did you check out did you get to check out Aquaside at all or no?
No, I went to when I was in Kumasi, I went to Mencha. I went to the Asante Hene's the museum.
Yeah. But you didn't catch Aquaside with that. It's once a month, and they have like all the Ashanti. They celebrate.
No, I didn't see because I was there during the middle of the week. I kind of went.
Okay, it's like the fourth. It's like the third or fourth Sunday of every month. So.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even there on the weekend because
Mhm.
I took the bus down there, which the buses are really nice. I
Mhm.
heard that they got buses in Nigeria called that like the ABC.
ABC is not ABC is not as good as VIP transport. And
Okay, the
it's
VIP,
not
yeah,
as
the
good.
VIP was
VIP
really,
is nice.
it was,
VIP is nice.
it was super comfy. And so I took the bus down from Accra. It was like 5 hours to Kumasi.
Damn, you missed Aquasita. They said it happened yesterday. You missed it yesterday.
Oh, see, there you go.
So
I'm
I'm
back.
going in November to Aquasita in November. It'll be my third one.
I just want to be like you. You know,
Well, you just gotta check the schedule. I mean, you gotta, I always go around. I try to
I
go.
can't be like, bro. You're in Africa like every month. I can't.
I haven't been
That,
since May.
come on, Dynas. Come on, Dynas.
I haven't been since May.
You be in Africa like you probably exceeded me. I've been, what, like 4 times this year, 5 times. Well,
Okay,
I'm not
there
gonna
you
count
go.
the before.
If you've been 5 times, you've been more. Cause I went January, March, and May, so you've been more than me.
Man, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, because I don't know. Like a lot of people, are you going to be in Africa in December? Because a
Yeah,
lot
of
of
course.
people
Yeah,
on my
yeah. I'll definitely be there in December. I don't know where yet, but
oh yeah, that's right. We were talking
I'm
about
either
that.
gonna be in Egypt or I might go to Liberia, but I would definitely be there in
Yeah. I remember we talked about that. Yeah, my homie Marcus, he reached out today, and I told him that you'll get at him when you need information
yeah.
about Egypt. But yeah, because a lot of people keep asking me that, but the tickets are they're so expensive.
Where?
They're so expensive.
To
Like I was thinking
Egypt?
about. No, I don't. I haven't looked to Egypt, but I know like for Ghana, like I was looking at Ghana, and they're already over a
You
thousand
gotta
pounds.
no. You gotta buy it early. Like you can't. You have to go like that first week of December. If you go in between like the second week of December and like after like 3 days after
So
Christmas.
what you gonna do? You gonna go the first week and stay the whole month?
No, I'm not gonna stay like I'm not going to Ghana. I'm going to Ghana in November.
No. I know you're not going to Ghana, but I'm saying in December the tickets
Oh
are
no,
high.
the tickets first week of December to Egypt were cheap as hell. They're only like 600, $700 round trip.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Probably because it's like going to be winter time. Like it does. I should tell you because I went in February and it was cold. Like it was. They had heaters
In Egypt?
in Egypt. Yeah, it
Or
was. It
how
was
cold?
cold. Like they had. It was about maybe like 16 degrees Celsius. So that's like what, maybe 50 or 60. But it was
Oh wow.
cold.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was cold. Like, and
Hello, Molisa. Go ahead.
they had heaters. They had heaters in the hotel rooms for nighttime because it was so cold. So yeah, so just that might be why. I don't know. I don't know.
All right, cool. All right, so guys, if you want to call in,
Yeah,
you
let's get some
know,
callers on the line.
yeah, shoot me an email, and you're more than welcome to call in.
Just please, some sensible.
No. Where's Antonio at? Antonio, are you in the chat, Antonio? Let me ask you this, African superstar. Are there any Black Britons claiming to be indigenous to Britain? I'm dead serious. I'm out. Are there?
Dinus, please stop playing with
I'm
me.
saying it's only Negroes in America that claim, and no one else claiming to be indigenous except for African movies. I just put the email in the chat room.
I don't.
There's no Negroes anywhere else on this planet claiming to be indigenous except for Negroes in America. Like,
I just want to know where, like, why don't the Native American community claim these indigenous?
And Cole Davis said Antonio went back to Israel, New Jersey.
That dude, man, he's too much. It's too much. It's just too much. Yeah, no. I would say here in the UK, people they try to kind of promote this like multicultural background. So a lot of people do like to acknowledge their background. So there will be Black people, they'll call themselves like, you know, British Nigerian or British Ghanaian or, you know, British Jamaican and stuff like that. So they do try to acknowledge their origins, because it's a hot, you know, it's hot to be identifying with your root, because we have like a lot of Caribbean people here and stuff, and they do like a lot of celebrations, at least in London. Now, when you leave outside of London and you go to like the English countryside, you see considerably less diversity, obviously. So I think the multicultural push is more in London, but I've never ever met a person that tells me, a Black person that just tells me they're British. I never have met a Black person that says, "Oh, you know, this is my country" and stuff. Like, people acknowledge the fact.
We're indigenous to Britain. We're indigenous.
Yeah, indigenous.
Britain is Israel.
Woo! And I don't even think we have any rivers here, so we can't claim the Nile. We can't claim the Nile here.
Okay, Mr. Pirate Brain. I'm about to send you the link.
Let's see who we about to get up in here today.
Golly, come on, man. Hold on, here we go.
Indigenous.
But everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Pirate Brain. I just sent the link. Pirate Brain. I just sent the link. All right, go ahead. So things are not improving for us in the West. Let me ask you, what kind of struggles are going on for Black people in the UK?
Well, we have the Windrush situation going on. I know. Are you up on the Windrush?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, so we have that.
That's crazy.
It's very crazy. And actually, I never knew about the Windrush until I moved to the UK. I had no idea about the history of the Caribbean. So for those of you in the chat room that may not be up on the Windrush, pretty much after the Second World War, the British, you know, they had quite a lot of damage here on the mainland and stuff. You know, they've been bombed a few times and whatnot by the Germans. So they went to Caribbean islands, and they kind of invited them to come to Britain and help build back the houses here. So if any of you guys have ever been to the UK and you see these like long rows of houses and they all look the same, and the houses that are like attached, they're called terrace housing. That's where that came from, because they were in such a rush to get housing for the population because they had like a lot of damage. So anyway, they were in a rush to bring these people over. They allowed them to travel with their children and stuff without documents. Like, children were traveling with their parents on their passports and all this stuff. So the people came to England, they helped build it back up and everything. And so now what is happening, current generation, so this stuff was like, you know, back in the 40s, I believe, around that time. So you've had a couple generations since then. And now what they're doing is, people that are here undocumented, like mainly Jamaicans, because they brought a lot of Jamaicans here, which if you guys have any interaction with the UK, you know there's kind of like a lot of British Jamaican connection. That's kind of where that comes from, is that Windrush culture. And actually the Jamaicans used to live in Brixton. So they created that whole cultural area in Brixton, which is now they're now doing what is that? What's the name of that word? Dinus, I forgot. Gentrification.
Yeah, and that's everywhere
Yeah,
but
they're doing gentrification in Brixton. So all the non-Black people are moving in, and pretty much the prices to live there are astronomical. But that was where a lot of the Black people went to, and brought that flavor. So anyway, now they want to deport the children of the Windrush generation, and the children are proving, my parents. Yeah, they're born there, and they can prove that their parents were a part of the generation. They came over during that time and all that. And a lot of people have been deported, but it's just so crazy. And again, this kind of just goes to the root of this conversation, which is when we live in the West, the very foundation that we are living in is not designed for us. These systems are designed to utilize us in a certain capacity, and we're going to reach the glass ceiling. It has nothing to do with how prayerful you are, how much education you have, or any of that stuff. It doesn't matter if you live in, affluent neighborhoods, or you've been to Ivy League schools, because I think it's deeply ingrained in Black people in the West to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but they are on an unfair playing field, because England knows for a fact that they went to the islands and invited these people over. Right. Because there's no way people from Jamaica are going to be getting into England illegally. Like it's difficult. The immigration here is extremely tight.
Well, what's crazy, I watched a documentary on the Windrush, and the white Eastern Europeans, they let them come in and they had no problems.
Yeah, they don't have any problems with them because they're part of the, EU and all that stuff. But they don't want.
They're white. They're white.
They're white. They don't want. They find a way to utilize us in every capacity. So I learned about that Windrush when I was coming here, and it's another thing. I'm just like, there's just so much history that's omitted. There's so much history we never learn about. You're talking about you've been in school from kindergarten to 12th grade, then you go to university. Some people have their masters and their doctorates, and they don't know much world history at all, or much history of Black people from various nations. Go ahead, Mr. Pike, take the floor. I see you in there.
How you doing, superstar? How you doing, Dinus?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, I had a question for you guys. I don't know if you saw it in the chat room. I was in a conversation a couple nights ago, maybe it was yesterday, I don't remember. And I said, it came up that if I do get reparations, not that I'm dependent on that, but if I do, within the week, I'm off to Ghana or Cuba. I kind of know where I want to go. And the person all but called me a coward. So you're not going to stay here and fight, so they can go over there and bomb you too.
How they fighting? Fight how? How's this fight? I want somebody who is currently fighting here in America. Let me know so I can see the link. How's this fight? Like, what fight?
Yeah, they like evading police and I'm not gonna drop no names because I don't want to be bashing nobody, but they're evading police and all that stuff, and that's fighting. I'm like, man, that's not even a skirmish. Yeah. That's like a rabbit avoiding a fox.
Fighting. I don't know what kind of fight they think they're in. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't think why should I want to sacrifice my legacy and my life to fight for something that is never going to happen, at least in my lifetime.
Correct. I agree. I find it. I find the situation that's happening, for instance, in America. I just think it's a pointless fight. I haven't seen anything improve from the protests, and I mean, that's all we can really say that a lot of Black Americans do when they get frustrated. They don't even maintain these various boycotts that they call. They don't, there's no type of like uniformity in the community. Like the community is not even cohesive to make an impact. Because I do believe if the environment, if the community was more tight knit, we could make an impact. Because that's actually how they were able to force the civil rights, was they had a huge number of Black people banding together and they were firm on their, objectives. But nowadays people can't stay focused. I remember when they had that ban on what they were mad about, that little boy wearing the monkey t-shirt. You remember that, Dynas?
Yeah.
At H&M. And these guys, and then they were mad about the Gucci sweater, and I mean, there's no solidarity. Like these people can't probably even do 30 days of a collective against anything, because they do have a lot of consumer power. So if they decided, okay, we're not going to support this or that, it could definitely have an impact. But I don't know. And I also think that the environment is just extremely violent in America. I think that, with the police brutality and just the senseless violence that keeps happening on Black people, and it's just so commonplace. And even everyday American, white people, they feel so empowered that they will retaliate on you if you don't listen to them, or if they're telling you to do something, you don't want to do it. There's been countless times they've killed people in traffic. I remember there was one instance down in North Carolina. There were these teenagers that were at a gas station and they were playing their music in their car, just like sitting and chilling. This white man went over to him and said, I don't like that music, turn it down. And the boys were like, hey, we can do what we want to do. We're not doing anything. We're not, hurting anybody. And the white man pulled a gun out and killed him point blank. And the boys were like, there was about 4 of them in the car. And the one that got killed, it was in Florida. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was about 4 of them. And they, the guy that got killed, he was like a football star, like, good grades and all that. He was like 17 years old. But that's the connotation that they have towards us. I feel like it's a different sentiment here in Europe, but in America, it's more or less like, you better obey me. And if you don't, you're going to pay the cost. They feel very, very entitled. Even the fact they call you for casual things, they call the police on you. And I take that as a threat, because they know the interactions with the police, how it goes sometimes for Black people. So if they're going to call the police for any type of reason, to me, that's a threat, So I don't know. I just think that if I want any quality in my life, I'm going to have to look outside of the West, because the opportunities are not here for us, And
my thought is this, and a lot of people that are here don't understand it, is that they always say, well, look at the cooning that's going on over there, the white Jesus and all that other stuff. And what I tell them, I said, what Africa's missing right now is us, because we live in the belly of the beast. If we went there, we could help them put a stop to that. They don't understand it because they haven't gone through what we've gone through. They've gone through their problems, but not the problems that the American diaspora has.
I agree. I keep calling. Mr. Firebrain is also a member of my channel. So, he knows a lot about my perspective on it, but I'm always compelling the diaspora to step up and make their presence known in the motherland, because, Dynas can attest to this as well. He's traveled more African nations than me, but 9 times out of 10, when we interact with, continental Africans, they have no clue about reality in the West. They have a fanciful idea of what it's like. They just think that their wildest dreams are going to happen there. They think there's so much opportunity and so much money available, and they have no idea about a lot of the factors that we deal with in the diaspora every day. But until now, we haven't really been having that dialogue. But I do think that the dynamic is changing, because when I was in Ghana, for instance, I was having a conversation. I made some YouTube videos with some local people there, and some of them are now getting awareness. And the interesting thing they told me was, when I talk to the Black Americans, this is what they say. When I talk to the Black Americans, this is what they've told me. they've showed me this, or I've seen this on social media. So because that dialogue is happening, it is creating awareness in the continent, But I mean, there's still so much work to be done. There's so much work to be done, but we're doing the best that we can with our platforms. And, I think another thing that's beautiful about Africa is there's just so much space and opportunity for so many people to thrive. It's not a position where it's like, okay, one or two of us can make it and the rest of us are going to suffer. There's so much space and opportunity for, millions of us to recognize our dreams. So I wanted to talk about this subject with Dynas because I think that some people need to really evaluate what is future options for themselves in the West.
Let's see what we got. So we have 300 people watching, only 129 likes. Please hit that like button as you come to the chat room. Thank you. I
don't see much of an opportunity to thrive here. I mean, some people are broke at different levels, but everybody's still broke, And my best time of my life actually was when I lived in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I rose up.
How was that? Because I mean, from my understanding, Argentina kicked all the blacks out.
Well, yeah, that happened, but when people tell you that they're telling the history out of order. It happened during the time this guy Juan Manuel Rosas was in charge, and that was like in the 1800s, something like that. And they didn't really kick him out. It was a big war, and they sent all the black people to the front line.
Oh wow!
But the black people, because they loved him, But so he sent them to their death, basically. But when I was there, everybody loved me, man. I mean, I didn't have it was some racism there. Okay, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the hate that we have here. It was more of a curiosity. Well, why are you down here? What are you doing? I was doing music. Why? So, it was a curiosity. Why are you coming down there? We're trying to go up there. And like a dummy, I came back. Worst mistake I ever made. Worst mistake I ever made. But I don't look at it as a mistake because I was still in the West down there. I think coming back is giving, and then getting sick is giving me the energy to try to get over to Africa, because I've heard people say, well, my ancestors are here, their bones are here, but you know what? I just buried my mother in November, and she was miserable. She looked at her life in her last few months and said, wow, I didn't do what I wanted to do. And my mother used to go to the sit-ins during the 60s. She used to wear afros. I mean, she was doing all that stuff. And she realized at the end of her life that it didn't get her anything, Yeah,
that's what I'm always scared about, really, is not maximizing my potential, Or
at least not dying happy, being able to look back in your life and say, yeah, it was rough in the beginning, but it was good near the end. I don't care about the bones here. I mean, my mother's gone.
The bones, bro, the bones.
I don't know why they say that, because we have more bones in Africa than we do here.
There's bones at the bottom of the Atlantic too. Do you want to go jump in the Atlantic? It's not funny. I'm not making light of it, but I mean, it just sounds ridiculous sometimes.
And there's bones in the Nile River. I mean, the Mississippi. Hey, Dennis, I have to ask you this. You like having that guy on here?
I don't. I forgot who he was, and so I just
He's lying, Mr. Power. He lying.
Who he was?
Dinah's likes having Antoine on. He and plus the chat room love
Antoine, if you in the chat room, you would have come on.
He got a look at his eye like a deer in the headlights.
Pyramids in the Grand Canyon.
Oh my God! No, yesterday he said Dinah's. He said America's the land of milk and honey. I was out. I was out. I'm like, where does this dude get his facts from? This is crazy.
Have you ever talked to somebody and you're having a conversation with them? And you're like, okay, man, this dude's all right. And you having a conversation, and then about 5 minutes into the conversation, you're like, oh.
He's far out. I mean, he's super far out.
But
and the thing
what?
is,
he's gonna learn.
He's so bold though. Like he's so bold because even yesterday when Amin Ra lives in Africa, lives in Kenya, been there for over 20 years. And how can you like contend with someone who's like telling you their experience from, living in Africa? You want to dispute it. And you're going off of, I don't even know what type of history he deals with. And I think he's support, doesn't he uses the Bible too.
Yeah,
he uses the Bible to back him up as well.
Yeah, use the Bible to prove that America is the land of milk and honey.
And you see people, cutting jokes on Amin Ra, like, man, I don't want to go there because the internet is fucked up. Do you know how many people don't have internet in the United States? And my thing is like, if you understand what he's saying, that means the internet's good enough.
Yeah. I mean, I guess some people, they just have their excuses for what they want to support and what they want. We don't actually, we don't actually get deterred by people that don't agree with us. We don't get deterred by any way. I should let people know that that are in the chat room. Like, we're going to continue to go forward with our plans. We found success. We found promise in the motherland. And we just want to provide that information to other people that are searching for it. I mean, obviously, Dynasty's platform is called Search for Uhuru. For those of you that don't know what Uhuru means, it means freedom. So, that is what we're all about.
Thank you. I didn't know what it meant. I just thought it was a cool name. Yeah,
that's what Uhuru means for those of you that don't know. And I Googled it when I first ran across Dynasty because I didn't know what it meant either. Yeah, that's what Uhuru means for those of you that don't know. So that's what our platform's about, and I can only speak for myself and say that I realize that it is really creating an impact for our people because I receive a lot of correspondence from those of you that watch us, and it empowers me to continue to provide this content because there's a lot of you that want the information. There's a lot of you that, obviously we don't get a lot of access to it in the West. But there are some people that they just feel uncomfortable there and they want to know what their options are. And, I give you guys credit. You guys are intellectuals. You're really smart, very progressive people. So that's the natural thing. If you're suffering, just like Mr. Pirate Brain said, he watched his mom live out her life and she wasn't even happy at the end. So even after the suffering and the challenges that she went through, at the end of the day, it didn't amount to what she was hoping for, and we just want to promote you to have a better life. When I was in Ghana, I was enjoying fresh food. The sun is so vibrant. There's so much life going on. Great music, friendly people, beautiful people. I mean, when I came back to England, I was like, oh man, this is getting old. Like I need to get it together.
I think you need to go and come back enough until one day you say, okay, enough is enough. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I just need to sort out my means of income. That's what I'm working on now. Because obviously I think I always challenge the diaspora, but I hold myself to that same standard. I think that when we go to Africa, we should be trying to bring some type of resources, industry. We should not just be coming there and like looking to live off of the environment. We should be trying to add to it. That's what the other foreign people that are coming are doing. They're creating businesses, they're making infrastructure, they're investing, and therefore they're positioning themselves for future wealth and longevity and all that. So I think we should be having the same view when we come there. So I'm trying to formulate, okay, what am I going to bring and add to the community in Ghana when I get there? How am I going to help people there and also myself,
Yeah. Speaking of that,
Jenna, you ate horse meat in Ghana?
Horse meat? Nah. Yeah. I was eating a lot of horse meat. No, it's happening with me. No, I had a lot of tilapia. I like fish a lot. So I was having I was getting a lot of the fresh fish and the mangoes and the coconuts. There was like a guy across the street from one of the places I stayed that sold those fresh mangoes, man. Dang. Woo, they are so nice.
And the fresh coconut water.
The fresh coconut water, like with the little coconut bits in it. It's, man, now the land of milk and honey is Africa. In Ghana when I get there.
Somebody's echoing.
People there and also myself.
James, you're echoing.
Jenna, you ate horse meat in
James, you're echoing.
Hold on. I'm fixing it.
I was eating a lot of. No, it's happening.
Hold on. Sorry.
No, I had a lot of tilapia. I like fish a lot, so I was having.
All right, go ahead. I had to mute him. All right, go ahead.
You know what? I wanted to reach out to y'all because there's a guy that I follow on YouTube. Beautiful family, native born.
He left.
Oh yeah.
He's in.
They're having trouble. Their son is autistic. Their son is autistic, and they're going through some stuff. So I just wanted to tell you. So if you do reach out to them and show support, because they're really brave to take that trip over there with 5 kids and one of them autistic.
Yeah, they got fed up in the States, man. That's what it was. They got fed up, and I think both of them, they work in I think they do like some type of online business. I've watched a few of their videos, and I think they do some type of e-commerce or some tech IT or something. But yeah, I mean their YouTube channel really blew up because I remember they made a video like we might have to leave Ghana, kind of, unless you guys help us, and then they got a tremendous response, and so they were able to keep carrying on out there. But yeah, they love it though. They weren't in Accra. I think they moved a bit further from the city, but yeah, there's a lot of YouTubers that were in Ghana. I spoke to Eat Love Migrate. Have you been in contact with her, Dynas?
I know she is. Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, so I spoke to her, but she's in Somali, which is far. It's apparently they said it was like about 8 hours from Accra. So we did touch base. But yeah, there was a lot of YouTubers that are there or going or local or whatever. So because my channel was like, hey, have you met so and so? Have you talked to so and so? Have you reached out to so and so? So I was really happy to see Walter Maya though, and I did also some videos with Matthew Bridge. What's up, James?
Hello?
No, it's not James. It's
that's not James?
Hold on, who is it? Yeah, it is James. Go ahead, James. James, you gotta unmute yourself.
I think you have me.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Hi to the family and stuff like that. I was on last night and I'm just trying to figure out this YouTube thing, and I sent you a DM on IG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure this stuff out, but I have Safaricom in my house, so if the internet is good here, then I think it's good because he had a mobile type. He was using his phone and everything like that. Amin Ra.
You were Amin Ra yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So he was over my house and stuff like that. But he was using a mobile phone, so that's why I was kind of janky a little bit.
Okay, what do you want to add, brother?
Okay, well, I would say, yeah, that's speaking about native born and a lot of these people. I've seen with people, unfortunately, people who most likely to come to Africa is the very what's the word I'm looking for? They're very like idealistic, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't really have a lot going on in America, not saying that was the case with them, but I'm just saying I've seen other people, they kind of just came because they thought, well, if I just come with a couple of thousand, I'm good. And it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. You got to have a little bit of money. You have to have some kind of passive income. And actually, I'm thinking about, I am going to start a channel, and it's going to be a step-by-step process about how to, come here. Like, for example, you were saying that, well, it's kind of expensive. And I'm like, well, you don't have a Chase Rewards card, a Chase Sapphire Rewards card where if you do like about 5 trips, you would basically be able to fly first class wherever you want to go to. I mean, I'm not doing a commercial for them, but it's a lot of people.
Hey, but let me ask you this: you're in Kenya. Your rent. How much are you paying for your apartment? How many bedrooms do you have?
Okay, I got a 3-bedroom apartment. I am paying about $300
A month.
Yes.
And see,
Yeah,
and do you got running water, hot water, all that?
I mean, like I say again, I mean, I don't have the setup for like a camera and stuff like that. I'm gonna get that later. That's coming in America, but
No. I'm talking about you have running like water, like in hot water.
Yeah. Okay. You're talking to people who wouldn't know. Okay, yes, there's electricity. I really don't have blackouts. It's really nice here. My girl's in the front room watching Netflix. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I got a PlayStation from the mall today. You know what I'm saying?
So do you live in Mombasa then? Since you were with Amara,
I live in Nairobi actually.
you live in Nairobi. Okay, yeah. So I've been to Nairobi as well. I mean, it's very modernized. For people that don't know, you and actually, if you're coming from America, the exchange is really good. They use the Kenyan shilling. To answer you as far as travel goes, I'm not a like high roller traveler, taking first class and doing all those type of things. I travel very, very frugally. So a lot of times I look for discount tickets and things like that. I don't stick to one airline, those type of things. I did used to have miles with US Air. What's it called? Is that US Air? No, United. I used to have United. Yeah, I used to have United miles when I lived in America. But when I moved over to the UK, they have a lot of discount airlines that don't really do mileage programs, but they have really cheap flights. So, for me, that's kind of just how I navigate it. I don't really do a lot of those loyalty things, and I don't have the big travel card. And I don't know what kind of keep the rich man the prince. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll say this. I mean, it's not so much that you got it. It's like a loyalty. It's like it's about the credit cards. I mean, but it's a lot of people that explain that if you go like credit card churn, just put that in YouTube. It's like a zillion channels, and it's things that Black people don't generally know about. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can get a credit card. Like I say again, it is kind of expensive to go from say America to Africa. So it's like again a credit card, and you had to spend $2,000 within 3 months. But if you took a trip to Africa, and you stayed in the Airbnb for a minute and stuff like that, that's $2,000 right there. And then you have like all these points, and you could go like to next to nothing. I mean, like I say again, it's something that you could do your research.
Yeah, I might look into it and see.
Just look up like credit card churning sites. It's a lot of stuff out there. It's a lot of information, and it's like it's not about an airline per se. It's about the credit card that you're using.
Now you got a lot of Indians. You have a lot of Indians and Chinese in Nairobi, though, don't you? And white people.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit that. I mean, yes, yes. It's a lot of the Indian people, just like Jamaica, they came over here and they were like the buffer class, and they kind of run things, and like your average Kenyan doesn't see a problem. It's like, even though they don't mix with Black people, you don't see them hang out too much with Black people, nothing like that. I mean, they do speak properly, but
they're there for a reason. Yeah, they're there for a reason. Yeah,
right, exactly. They were a buffer class, just like the Indians in the Caribbean were a buffer class. And I can go into that, but
How long have you been in Nairobi now?
I've only been here since March, so I mean, I'm a newbie, but like I say again, I've made mistakes, and I did my research and stuff like that. So I think I have a little information that can help the average person coming over here save them some money. You know what I'm saying?
So since you recently moved, let me ask you, what do you think about, the direction of Black people in America, for instance? What do you think about their prospects? Because that's what we were talking about tonight. What is their future in America, for instance?
I think it's going to regress back to like straight up Jim Crow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the President Trump, he's like just openly racist. He's just like, yeah, y'all need to go. I mean, just random, go back to wherever you came. So he's telling you what to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just, and it's like he's getting no pushback. I mean, he's going to get reelected. See, the thing is,
he's going to get reelected.
Yeah, he's going to.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, because he said, they asked him, well, that's what white supremacists say. Are you okay with that? They say, there's a lot of people that think like I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't get in there. It wasn't like one person voted for him, and Americans, they have that silent majority that acts like, oh, he's so, they don't like Trump and he's so crazy and stuff. But behind the scenes, they voted for him and they support him,
Hey,
so,
go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to say.
My bad.
Yesterday, an article came out about O'Rourke, or the guy from Texas, and they said him and his wife, his family owned slaves. So what's starting to come out is all of these people in Congress or running for president, their families own slaves. Even they're saying that Kamala Harris' family at one time had slaves.
That's how they got their wealth. Yeah, that's how they got their wealth. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's happening is it's starting to show in this season that, man, these people, even on the left side, had slaves. So Black people are realizing, well, there's no point in us voting. So Trump's going to win without our vote. And the white people on the left, they're acting like they're mad, but they don't care because all they have to do, all they have to do is pay reparations and they will get in.
Hey,
if somebody came up and said, okay, we're going to give each ADOS $200,000, Trump will be out of there.
Yeah, I mean, but I can't imagine something like that happening. I mean, like, put it this way. I was in Virginia Beach when Trump got elected, right? And Virginia Beach is technically a Black dominated area. But when he got elected, all the white dudes in my job were like high-fiving each other. It is what it is. So it's a silent majority that's voting for this guy. And I think that Black people, because they are already segregated in America, they don't understand that most people don't know nothing about Black people. They don't like Black people. They don't care about Black people. And, it is what it is.
Dinus calls them voteps.
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 Exactly.
And brother, so $300 a month isn't bad. My home, in Lagos, you can get a nice 3-bedroom situation for $2,000 for the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, that's crazy.
Sweet.
Listen, hey, real estate broker Adiwale, can you hook me up in Ghana? I'm looking for a place to stay.
I can.
That's what I need.
Okay.
Hey, I had a 4-bedroom place in Arusha that was $172.
Oh yeah, Arusha. Yeah. I'm sure it's quite rural out there though. I didn't make it to Arusha though. I've just been to Zanzibar.
I haven't been to Arusha since last time I was there was 2015.
It was a minute.
No. It was 2000. Last time I was in Arusha was 2012 or 2013. So I'm sure.
Yeah, it's more of a city. I thought it was real bush like too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is compared to like Nairobi and stuff like that. But
how far is it from the main city?
From the main city, like from Dar es Salaam?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to fly.
It's 12 hours from Dar es Salaam, but it's like 5 hours from Nairobi.
Okay.
But it's not really that small. It's like about 400,000 people, but it's the way Nyerere he set up Tanzania. He wanted the city to be small. So they kind of like, so in other words, so like Atlanta or someplace like that, they would kind of like take over like a part that might not have been Atlanta at first. It was just like, you know, as the city grows, it would grow and then they would incorporate into Atlanta. And that's pretty much what they did to Arusha, except they kept it a lot village. Like, so like if you know the streets, and so you have like the downtown area, but then you live like in the cut. It's like, you know, the village out there, you know, so it is what it is.
Man,
So I'm sure you see it.
$2,000 a year, that's doable.
That's what I'm saying. They pay the rent annually. A lot of places. I know in Ghana they do it as well as Nigeria. They pay annually.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I pay monthly. So you know,
you pay monthly. Yeah. That's still not bad. 300 for 3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
I pay 450 pounds for 1 bedroom here in the UK.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, you must not live in London.
No, I live outside of London. I live in Northampton. It's like about an hour away from London. I can't be in London spending that kind of money, man. London is crazy.
I used to live in Northampton back in the day. Stuff like
that. Yeah. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I live in Northampton.
Yeah, because I'm like, you living in London, because London is probably more expensive than like New York.
Oh yeah. It's. I think it's in like the top 5 as far as the expensive, you know, major cities. It's crazy. Yeah. Because like this very same room that I rent for $450, it's got a toilet in it and everything. It would cost me probably like maybe $800-900 pounds or £1,000 a month. Almost double. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I also lived in Northampton myself. Very nice place. I lived in Semirong.
Oh, police brutality's in there. What's up, fam?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm good. I'm all right. Yeah, I lived in Northampton and yeah.
Shout outs. We got. See, that's why the panel's so nice. We get to exchange information. It's like international. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mr. Pirate Brain, you're in Texas, right?
I'm in Austin, Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in Texas. Dynas is in Georgia. James is in Nairobi. I'm in the UK. Where are you at currently, police brutality?
I'm in Calgary, Canada.
Okay, look at look. I let these people tell you guys that Black people ain't international, y'all. We got all the continents represented right now, okay?
Exactly.
We got the continents represented in here.
Yeah, the fact is that, you know, from the topic I saw, I keep saying this on Dyna's channel, that, you know, the United States of America is not going to improve for our people there in the US because they are living under constant hellfire with Cracker there, because Cracker ain't going to give you a breathing space, you know, and I keep saying it because for me that I've lived in the UK and I'm here in Canada, I'm seeing all these things every time for someone that's lived more than 20 years in the continent. So I keep telling people the same thing. Look, even us here, we're seeing it and we're like, man, this is hell. Like people here should be going through hell. And you know, the option. Yeah, in Canada, yeah. People are going through hell in Canada. It's you know, it's no different. It's no different from what's happening in the US or in the UK, you know.
And this is good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's good for also people, continental Africans, because they seem to think that even when I talk to people like here in the UK, they don't really know how bad it is in America, you know. And then when you talk to people back home in Africa, they're just like, really? Is it really that bad? So it's good. We all talk about it from our various places in the diaspora. Like, look, I don't care if you're UK, Canada, America, Germany, France, whatever. Like,
hey, sister, let me tell you.
There's another fallacy. I think people always say, "Well, why are they always coming to America if it's that way?" But if you look at the percentage of people that have migrated from Africa, it's very small.
Very low. It's very low. It's like about 30%.
Thank you, Private Brain, for saying that, because this is what they say, that all of us are leaving Africa, Africa to the US or to the UK or Canada, but it's just a very tiny percentage. Because
it's millions of African people on the continent, like a small percentage of them have gone outside.
Yeah, because what I found out is that it's like for the immigration, whatever they do here, because I know it's all bogus anyway. they tend to take more of the Asians than take us.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's a big fact, and people should understand it because that's what they do. They can't stand the fact that we work 10 times better than them. We do things 10 times better. Like at the moment now, I'm a overall supervisor where I'm working now for a summer camp. I'm the guy in charge of, making sure the kids are okay, pushing some of the supervisors to, although some of the supervisors don't like me pushing them because they're angry anyway, teenagers and their problem. But the fact is that I'm doing both office work and also on the ground, and I'm also having a hangout here. So you can imagine I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm doing a lot of stuff at the same time.
Yeah, I had to also bring up, in fact, that actually the only time I was ever called a nigga was actually in Northampton, and actually at the Esso, which is like Exxon garage, which is like garage in America on Abington Road, I believe.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some white dude called me the N-word and pulled out a knife, and I was about to swear for
What?
him. But the Indian dude that ran the thing, he said he was gonna call the police, and so the dude rolled out. So,
Well,
yeah, that was called the N-word to my face.
When I was in Northampton, no one could call me that because I was doing bylaw, the bylaw enforcement, civil law enforcement. So
I remember you talking about that you did policing.
Yeah. So I used to give a lot of tickets to them. So some of them were trying to use their dogs to attack me, and they were like saying that people like me shouldn't be doing this job. And I told them like, well, I just gave you a ticket, so I don't know what you mean by people like me, because I'll still give you a ticket and still write about the racial stuff you said on my book. And that's the thing about us, is that we as a people should stop always trying to bow down to them. Like for me, I'm a very, very straightforward human being. I'm always like this to them, like, yo, do not mess with me. And they don't like that.
Don't mess around. Shoot, I definitely don't mess around. But we got some coons in the chat room that probably do.
Let me read the super chat real quick. Shout out to Chief John for the super chat. Dynast, thanks for holding it down for Pan-Africanism on O'Shea Show. It's a privilege to be African. The potential is still there to build big before it gets less affordable in the future. The future of everyone Black is in Africa. There we go. Shout out to
big shout out.
Yeah, and for those that feel that Cracker Zaddy is gonna save you, please, man. Like I said it in one of Dynasty's show, that these Oyibo people will not give you anything.
Hey.
No, on a very serious note, that Dynas understand. They will not. These people are heartless. They are soulless.
They're just using you. That's the truth.
They'll tell you to go back to Africa, and you say, "Okay, give me my last couple of years' pay." No, you figure out how to get back.
They don't want, and they do recognize that, a lot of people in the diaspora, this energy is happening. So y'all better get ready. In America, they're gonna start throwing up them roadblocks to prevent you guys from getting out. So you move back.
And also what Holip said here, he says that the Cracker Man is not Thanos. Seriously, he's not Thanos. So he's not everywhere, because this is one thing they fear. Mm-hmm. They fear that their so-called system is going to crumble, and it is going to crumble. So that is the fear. That is the fear. So that's why I always give them the impression that, look, you can be whatever you can be, but this is what I'm giving them, the body language, like, yo, this your so-called system is crumbling. Okay, it's not holding any water anymore, and our system is rising. So one of the reasons why I say that is because their population is falling down and our population is rising. A lot of things that used to be easy for them now is now getting hard. That's why they have the opioid crisis. That's why they are 4 times more to commit suicide. Cracker is ready to hang himself in the house and shoot himself on the head with a shotgun. And it's happening. So people should stop having this thing that these people are like they have the infinity gauntlet in their hand to make anything happen, because it's all
not true.
It's all crumbling.
True. And I mean, and I think honestly, that's where the fury and the hate comes from, and the fear, because they know that as soon as we recognize what's happening, and as soon as we as soon as we begin to implement other plans and travel and take our resources elsewhere, that just like police brutality said, their situation is going to crumble. It all has to do with what we choose to do, which is why the diaspora has so much power, and this is such a critical time, because they can choose to do other things instead of the American dream that's been promoted for us, that we should just be working our life away and we're not even going to have a piece of the pie at the end. We're going to be going through struggles our whole life. They're going to be minimalizing us. We're going to hit the glass ceiling. We can have degrees until we're blue in the face. It doesn't matter, So you're hearing it here today on the panel, international. Everybody's telling you the same thing.
I tell people Donald Trump's wall, people think that wall is to keep the Mexicans out. But I tell it's crazy when I say this. That wall is they're building that wall to keep us in.
That's it.
Yeah. Parrot Brain, thank you, Mr. Parrot Brain, thank you very much, sir. I've been saying this, and people think that Victor is saying too much.
They say you talk too much.
They say I talk too much. Someone told me I need to shut up. That I should just they give me a serious beating. I say, okay, no problem. Let me shut my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I want to say something about to keep the Mexicans in. That is correct, because, like, again, sister, you're over in England, and like I said, again, most of my family who is from Jamaica, they actually live in England. And what people usually do, well, right now, because it's violent in Jamaica, back in the day, people would leave, they would work there, and retire in England. Retire, from their job in England, and they would move back to Jamaica, get that pension. They would be able to live like a king in
back home. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what they're worried about. It's like people are leaving because it's like, okay, you work a job, and if you don't have, like I said the other night, if you don't have $100,000 in your 401k by the time you're like 40, you're in trouble, because, like I say again, you're just not gonna be able to retire and live in America.
Well, see, now they're changing retirement. I know they changed it in America before I left, but they're doing the same thing here in England. Like, the retirement age used to be 60, and the current retirement age is 67. And I'm like, where do you do that at? Like, I work in mental health with crazy white people. I'm like, I can't be dealing with them for 30 more years. Like, yo.
Exactly.
And you want to retire to Africa while you still got your body functions and stuff.
Exactly.
Like, who's going to be trying to move and relocate at age 67?
Right.
Like, the time is now.
I know a lady who left here because she spent all her money on Ubers and stuff like that, because she didn't want to get on a Matatu or a Boda, because she was a little older, but she wasn't that old. But she just stuck in her ways and stuff like that, and she burnt up her money, just riding in cars and stuff like that. And like I say again, if you ain't willing to get on a Matatu with everybody else,
is that like a trotro?
Yeah,
like a trotro. Yeah.
We call it a trotro on this side, on the west side.
Like I say, you're gonna be packed up in the same thing in Jamaica, where they had a route taxi and stuff like that. They tax on there, but you'll be all right. And like I say again, you paying like like less than a penny by American money, to go from point A to point B. But you rather pay $10 to get in an Uber, to go, to the grocery store back, things like that.
Well, I think actually that's a good point, James. For people that are coming to Africa, they will need to have an open mind, because obviously the culture is different, and you can't. It's unwise for you to come there and you don't really want to integrate.
Police brutality. You're breathing all in the situation.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, but it's unwise to come to African nations and not extend yourself and want to integrate and learn about the culture and get to know the native people there, because I actually had also a video on my channel. I met with a lady in Ghana named Carnita Groves, and she's a doctor there, and she has been living in Ghana now for about 6 years. And she told me that she sees that, like she sees sometimes when the foreigners come, just what James was saying with the whites in Kenya and the Indians and stuff, they have their separate communities and they don't really want to integrate with the local people, you know. So I think, you know, that's an unwise way to go. Obviously, those of us that are interested in Africa, we recognize there's some type of disconnect from us to the motherland, and we should take that opportunity to begin to learn about the place that we're choosing to live. And also, I can speak, and I'm also speak for Dynas on this point, and tell you that our relationships with continental Africans have been a huge resource and a huge network for us. As we travel around the continent, people have hosted us, people speak the languages, people have shown us around. We've gotten, you know, insider events. And, you know, like when I go to Ghana, I got people that get me to special events, VIP and all that stuff. But you're not going to be able to utilize that if you don't want to involve yourself with the local people. So I think that's a good point. James, your friend, she wasted all her money on Uber because she was too good for the public transportation. You know what I mean?
No, I want
the market, all that stuff.
I just want to say this, like great point you brought out, African and superstar. The fact is that I've lived in Nigeria for so long that I know that then, even back in the 90s and late 80s and early 90s, that the foreigners, the crackerzoids, they want to mix. They had their own housing, their own flats. I know. I grew up with that. I grew up saying that. So, you know, for our brothers coming from the States, you know, don't come with that OG mentality.
Yeah, like why would you want to come to the state? Why would you want to come to Africa and then segregate?
You know, doing the whole, you know, this we're not the same. We know the same. You know, that kind of with that accent that George does all the time. But that's the thing, like people should try it. Like when I went to the UK, I was always integrating with the Black British, those from the Caribbean and everybody. And they were like saying that, yo, but we Nigerians, you know, we don't relate. I'm like, well, I'm different. Okay. And those here in Canada, so I tend to relate to the ones of Caribbean origin, you know, the Black Canadians here. And they were like saying the same thing, like, we don't. I'm like, I don't care. It's me, I'm breaking the jinx. What's your problem?
Yeah, I mean, we have to
real quick. We have 337 people watching, only 233 likes. Please hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, we have to encourage our people to start critically thinking and not necessarily just doing what people in the past have done, which a lot of times, you know, they self-segregate. So in terms of Nigerian people are very proud people, and you know, they do boast their culture and stuff. They do. I mean, it's a fact. It's not a negative thing, but it is a fact, you know. So sometimes if you're trying to like integrate with them, they're kind of letting you know, like, hey, we're Igbos, you know, we're from Delta State, we from, you know, this and that, and they're letting you know, hey, this is our section, you know what I mean? And I personally, I have you know, that's one thing that I love a lot about the Ghanaians, and I also saw that with Kenyans too. I mean, I don't know if Jake could speak on this point, but they're very, very welcoming, you know, and actually if you start to engage with their culture, they welcome that. They're excited about the fact that you want to go, and they're not going to tell you, oh, you know, you're not Kenyan, you know, don't wear our stuff, you know, don't be thinking that you're you know,
no, Ghanaians are very good people. Like Ghana,
yeah, Ghanaians are super friendly. Yeah,
Ghana is like my second country, you know, because I lived in Ghana for like 2-3 years. I schooled there, you know, really related to them. So yeah, it's like my second country after my country, Nigeria. So yeah, the Ghanaians are nice. They don't segregate because you know, they're different, but they always like to beat us in soccer anyway.
That's how I was when I went down to South America. When I was in Buenos Aires, I didn't mix with anybody from the United States, and it took me about 12 months, and I could speak Spanish fluently. My daughter learned to speak Spanish fluently in 3 months. She was 4.
That's good.
You know, and so my thought is, if I go to Africa, I just want to hang around with people from that country. I'm not trying to go all the way over there just to find people from here. You know.
But that's what some people do. That's what some people do, and it's just like, what's the point?
If you come to Nairobi, you can get a place like this. It's going to cost you 65. Because I was thinking about getting it. Somebody was showing me around, and they assumed that I would want to live in Westlands. So they showed me a place that wasn't as nice as this place where I'm at, and they wanted like $650 to live there. So you know what I'm saying? I'm paying $3 to live here. It just didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? You're getting taxed to live up there. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's just like America. They don't really have matatus really going up in there. Like, so I mean, the only thing about it,
bro, you taking the Uber, spend all your money on the Uber.
Exactly.
Why would I spend all my money on Uber when I can enter the public transport? Like,
I'm telling you,
like seriously.
That's a test for those of you that are African travelers. That's a test. You know you're official when you can ride that local transportation.
Okay, is the matatu, is that just the bus or is
yeah, it's the bus. Yeah, it's like Molue.
It's like the local bus, and sometimes they don't have like marked stops. They kind of just stop along the way.
You gotta stand up and hold on.
You're gonna be there like this with the van got like 15 people in it. Y'all gonna be shoulder to shoulder.
Dinah's understand, yeah. Dinah's understand the situation in Lagos State.
Well, what situation? What's going on?
So, like, say you take an Uber and it might be like, for instance, I came from Ghana, so it'll be like 20 CD, okay? If you take the Trotro might be like 5 or 6.
Like 5
or 2.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I would say this: in Lagos, I take Uber. Uber is not that expensive in Lagos because Lagos is so spread out. Especially if I'm like in Ikeja and I got to go to the island. But when I'm in Oshobo, I take the little local. I take the Okada, which is like a little bike or.
Okada.
Adewale, you done come up, man. We know you're a prince now. You take Uber. You know what I'm saying?
I take the van. I'll take the Okada.
He takes the keke napep.
The king be sending Uber for you, like, hey, get this air conditioned Uber.
About the Uber situation in Nairobi right now, like literally today, I caught a bus. I caught an Uber to the mall, and it cost me $5 because they got some kind of strike going on. When I was trying to get back, there was no Uber. I had all like my groceries and stuff like that. And they had a strike, so he was like, "Look, I need $15," and I'm like, I was hot, but I had to pay it because I had all my stuff. But I was like, "Look, I ain't doing it no more. I'm gonna get on a bus." You know what I'm saying?
You wanted 15 American dollars?
Yeah, and then when you be in Africa, you be like, man, that's expensive. $15.
Right? Yeah. See, the thing is, the Kenyan dollar is about 100 to 1. So it's like
the biggest change.
Yeah. So I just to keep my mind right, I'll just convert it to my mind. He wanted 1,500 shillings, which is about $15.
Oh, that's a lot for a taxi ride, bro. I know you was Saudi.
Hell, man, I'm like, it ain't gonna happen again. You know what I'm saying?
$15.
Yes. So yeah, I will definitely hop on a daggone like it ain't nothing.
Now they don't have stores like. Because like you said, you went to the grocery store, like where I stayed, where I was, which I know this is in Africa, but I assume that they got places like this. You would walk down the street on one corner, you would have like the...
Yeah, I don't... Why do you go to the grocery store for in Africa when you get everything fresh off the street?
Yeah.
Because I was trying to... I was going to the mall to get a bunch of stuff. Like I said, I got a PlayStation today. So, like, it was a couple things in the store was just there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, ShopRite.
No, I went to Carrefour actually. Like I said the other day.
Oh, he was in the mall. Otherwise, he was in the mall.
Yeah, I went to the mall. So I went to the mall to get like some stuff. Plus,
they got ShopRite at the mall.
In Africa, like these big stores, they're like little mini Walmart, so you can like price like electronic stuff. So you'll see about how much it would cost. So like if you wanted to go somewhere else and get something, okay, I saw it there, it was that. So I know it can't be more than this. You know what I'm saying?
He new to Kenya. He just got there in March, fam. He still goes to the stores all the time.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like I say again, I'm not hardcore and I'm being real. It's like, I mean,
I'm just teasing you, Joe.
You know how much money you would save if you just bought everything off the street.
Yeah,
I know.
It's because
it's fresh.
It's
fresh.
Why go to the grocery store when you can go to Teddy Show Market? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like I said, if you go to the market, like I said again, I had to go get some liquor. I had to get a bunch of little different things. So it just was easier for me to go one place. Now, like I said again, if I'm like buying like fruits or vegetables or meat or something like that, then yeah, I go to. In fact, we did go because they got some kind of, they call it greens. I forgot exactly. I looked it up on the internet what it's called. It's like nightshade, but it's their greens, and you have to go to the market to get that. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, if you want like random stuff, if you want to, like, instead of going like around and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like a million little shops at a market, you know what I'm saying? You might just want to go one place to see how much stuff costs. So that's what it was.
Carrefour is expensive though.
Yeah, it is. I ain't gonna lie. It is. You know what I'm saying? It's expensive. Not gonna lie. But it was some good stuff I wanted to get there, so that's what I did.
Well, this is my own thing that if you want to get something nice and fresh, just go to the local market. You see the fresh vegetables, fresh everything, fresh. You know, no GMO.
He can't get a fresh PlayStation from the market, y'all.
Exactly.
You got Amazon over there? Is there Amazon over there?
Amazon. Nah, we have Jumai, no Amazon.
Yeah, they have Junior, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I was thinking about, because like the thing about Africa, anything imported is usually twice what it costs in America.
Yeah,
so when
it is.
I was going to get a PlayStation and they wanted like $550 for it. I'm like, what? It costs like $300 in America, right? Right? But like I got mine for like $400, but I was like, well, if
you bought it, man, that's almost your house rent.
Right.
That's more than the house rent.
I mean, like I said, I'm
oh boy, you balling.
A little bit, a tiny bit.
Yeah, you balling.
Right. But I gotta get it real. Like, for example, like if somebody was to come over here, you know what I'm saying, to live, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna kind of miss some American stuff. Like I say again, I tripped when I was in Tanzania and I saw like some pancake batter. I'm like, oh, I can have some pancakes. I mean, you think, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh,
I ain't gonna lie.
I know how you feel because
it's true. It's true. Let's keep it real. There's things you miss. There's things. Yes. There are some things you miss.
I went to Carrefour and saw waffles and peanut butter and jelly. I was like, oh my God, that peanut butter was like $15 a jar. Yeah. and the Mrs. Butterworth's maple syrup was like $6. I was like, okay, give me some.
See me, I got a little sweet tooth, so like there's candies and stuff that you can't get here in the UK, like a big box of Nerds.
Yeah.
Man, when the last time I went to the States, I was like, oh yeah, you can get the big box of Nerds for like 99 cents. I bought a bunch of them. But yeah, I mean, he's keeping it real. James is keeping it real. There's things you miss. You know, some things you do miss. Yeah, some things.
Like when I was in Jamaica, I saw a Popeyes there, and I went there, and I was surprised nobody was there. And I'm like, y'all don't know, but this is like crack in America. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, McDonald's tastes better overseas. Actually,
it does.
I never had McDonald's in Africa. I think they got one in Nairobi.
I think the big thing in Africa right now is the KFC.
Yeah,
like they got KFC in Egypt. They got it in Nairobi. They got it in Ghana. Everybody be at the KFC like on Friday nights. That's where everybody hangs out.
You people go and check. You people go and check out Mr. Big.
Some of that chicken from Chicken Royale, whatever it is.
Chicken Republic. Chicken Republic.
Oh yeah, Chicken Republic.
Oh, Mr. Biggs, Mr. Biggs.
I like Mr. Biggs. Mr. Biggs is okay. Mr. Biggs is okay. I like Chicken Republic though.
Yeah, that was looking good too.
Yeah, Mr. Biggs is okay.
That's Prince Adewale's official plug for the chicken in Nigeria. Yeah, Chicken Republic.
Look, we all go to Nigeria. First place we look. Can y'all drop me off at the Chicken Republic?
Oh God.
Look. If they offer some coupons for Chicken Republic, I bet you get a lot of black people going over there to Nigeria.
Hey, why y'all don't know how to influence y'all have on YouTube? Like I say again, like the traveling sister, she have a lot of people that come through. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, y'all don't know how y'all influence me to come over here. So I mean, it's exactly. I mean, so you don't be surprised if it be like a lot of random black people, you know, from America up in Chicken Royale because Dinah's co-signed it. You know, it can happen.
You got to stop right there on your tour, man. Dinus, you got to take them by.
Okay, we might stop off at Chicken Republic. Yeah,
stop at Chicken Republic, man. It's like a landmark because I know when I got to Zanzibar, I was like, oh man. When I went to Stone Town, I was like, this Dinus for us. You know what I'm saying? Dinus was here.
I miss Zanzibar, man.
You need to take it over there, man.
I'm trying to go over there for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I need to check that out.
It's really nice, James. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's just like, I mean, you come from Jamaica, it's just like the Caribbean. Like I kept feeling like, oh man, I'm just in, like my mom's from Bermuda. So I kept I'm like, oh man, this is like Bermuda. You know what I'm saying? With the palm trees, the crystal clear waters. Wow. And the time I went, it wasn't really tourist season. I went around March. It was right before rainy season because the rainy season starts in April. So there wasn't a lot of tourists there, you know. So it was really nice then too. So I don't know how it'll be at Christmas time. When did you go, Dinus? What time of year did you go over there?
I always went in December.
Oh, you went in December, okay.
I always went in December when I went to Zanzibar.
I know everybody got their preference for what country they like, but if you were to sit back objectively, which countries would be good countries for Black Americans to go to think about living in?
Well, James is going. He's going vouch for Kenya. He was doing it last night.
You just woke up? Huh?
Okay, like I would say.
Hey guys, hold on 1 second. Well, guys, go ahead. Give me a second. But go ahead.
I want to be biased, but again, the average Black American who not, you know what I'm saying, they want to dip their toe in before, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to go too rustic, you know what I'm saying, or where like the people speak like only the local language. You might want to consider like Kenya.
Dinus needs to put his channel on mute. I think he stepped away from the
show. And the money.
Somebody else came into the room.
Like I was saying, the money is like 100 to 1. Like when I was in Tanzania, I forgot what it was. I was using xe.com, but it's like some kind of weird, maybe like 2,000, 2,400 to 1. So it's kind of hard to do the math. So it's like you see something for like $1 million shillings, and you be like, you know, whoa, that's hot, but it's really only $400.
Right.
So if you saw something in Kenya that was like 40,000 shillings, you know, okay, that's $400. You know, so it's kind of easier to do the math. I guess the internet is pretty good. I mean, like I said, I got fiber internet in my house, just like y'all would have in America. You know, they got PlayStations in the mall. You know, so
they got Uber.
You know, they got Uber. You know what I'm saying? They got Oden, you know,
they got Airbnb. They got KFC.
On the low, I'm about to start being an Airbnb guy, but you know, they got all this stuff here, man. So it's like, I mean, you know, I know it's probably more concentrated people in Ghana, and I don't know enough about Ghana to speak on it. But I would say that Kenya is probably a good, place to check out.
Yeah, I think it probably depends. To answer your question, Mr. Pirate Brain, it depends on the preferences of the person moving. If somebody is like a big city person, then they're probably going to want to go to one of the big cities. You know what I'm saying? Nairobi is a good option. Some people like South Africa, Johannesburg. Of course, you've got Accra, Lagos. I know that Kigali is also really up and coming with everything that's going on down in Rwanda. So, it really just depends on what your flavor is and what your interests are. Like for Dynas, he prefers a more rural community. So he's out there in rural Nigeria. Me, I'm more of a city girl. I do enjoy some of the conveniences, but I do also want that culture. So that's why I'm attracted to Ghana. But,
Go ahead.
Is Accra big?
Accra? Yeah, it's big. It's big. I don't think it's as big as Nairobi. I think Nairobi is much larger. It's a massive city.
Hey,
Nairobi is.
Let me lay one thing on you, brother. Like I'll give you an example of again why some people might prefer a bigger city, because like in Tanzania, like I said, I got like medical problems because I was in the military, I got hurt, right? So just like America, you had to like literally get a prescription. So I would have had to go to the hospital, get the doctor to look me over, give me a prescription for something I need, you know what I'm saying? And then I could go get it. Whereas in Kenya, you can, which is a good and a bad thing, but it's a good thing for me. It's like I can just go to the daggone pharmacist, no prescription, nothing, and just get what I need, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? So I got to go to the hospital because I already know what's wrong with me. I just need to get my medication, and it's way cheaper in Africa. It's way cheaper in Africa. So
yeah, I'm diabetic myself. So
yeah, I got high blood pressure, so it's like I'm on like 3 medications for that. So you know what I'm saying. And I could get the VA, but I got to get it mailed here, so I just rather just buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I wanted to mention to you, Gina, a friend of mine from South Africa friended you. I don't know if you got DJ XT.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to look it up. I was your friend. They didn't send me a message, but yeah.
Yeah, he friended you. He's in South Africa. I think he's not in Johannesburg.
Is he in Cape Town or Pretoria, Durban?
No, I forget now. I think he's outside of Johannesburg.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll look him up and send him a message or something.
Yeah.
Hello.
What's up, Iris?
Hello, how you do? I just joined the chat and I want to interject, and I want to kind of bring it back to the original subject that I saw that Dynas had posted. Things are not improving for us in the West. What are our options? I think that his channel is very good. However, I don't think it's very realistic in how. I don't think it's very realistic.
How? Why do you say that?
Because there's this whole concept about, Black Americans, and not just Black Americans, but people throughout the diaspora are just moving back to Africa. And, this is their place and this is what there should be. And some of that is true and some of that is not exactly true. I believe that Black Americans will find a way back in Africa, but it would be under different circumstances. What
kind of circumstance are you talking about?
Like, for instance, like I hear a lot of discussions about, China, Russia, a lot of the East entering to Africa and, Africa being recolonized and things of this nature. And, some of that has some truth. And I also hear discussions about the Chinese are taking on wives from all these different African nations, and they're reproducing, populating with the people. Excuse me?
That's not true. I mean, I don't want to cut you off, sister, but that's not true. I mean, I was talking yesterday. I have some Chinese people that live in this compound where I'm at, and they brought. It's just like the Chinese people in the hood at the restaurants and stuff like that. Do you know the Chinese person from the Chinese takeout? No, you don't. They actually the Chinese people are too racist to to take over Africa because they want to hang with themselves. Like I say again, it's a bunch of Chinese people that live in this place right in my apartment complex, but they had some girls and like just put it, they had the short dresses on and everything like that come through. Could they have gotten some African women? Absolutely, but they didn't want to because they don't want to.
And I want to add, I want sorry, so to call it, I want to add this. Like this is just the issue that I don't know why people okay. Sister, this is what I have to tell you. Okay. Africa, there will be always be people coming to Africa, whether it's from Asia or whatever. Okay. But even though you heard it in the stories that okay, people are taking over, Chinese and the Asians and the Russians are taking over Africa, it still doesn't stop you from coming to the continent. Okay.
Oh, I didn't
Because
say that.
yeah,
I didn't say.
yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
believe.
I know.
I believe that Black Americans are going to come to the
Yeah.
continent, but I think
Because
that it's not going to be on Pan Africanism.
yeah, but the thing is that what I'm saying is that whether it's based on Pan African or whatever, the fact is that where our people are in the US, cracker isn't going to give them any rest.
I
I'm
agree with that.
I'm telling you that because
why would they?
yeah, I'm telling you that because I'm this someone that's lived in the continent for so long, and I'm here in Canada. I'm seeing how these guys are treating our people here badly, especially the ones that were born here. And our people feel that oh, that cracker loves them, but cracker doesn't love them. Cracker hates their ass, like hate them like bad. Okay, and
Okay.
this is what our people should try and get. Like for me, dealing with cracker, I know that cracker doesn't like me, so I have that in the back of my mind, like yo, me and cracker do a deal, but I'm still gonna stab him in the back anyway. Definitely, because I know he's gonna stab me first.
Okay, but
Okay,
that's
yeah.
not what I'm getting at, though. That's not what
Wait,
I'm getting at. The
Well,
point that I'm getting,
what are some of the options you think for
the
Black
point
people
that
that
I'm
want to?
getting, the point that I'm getting at is that when I was trying to speak about James, yeah, they're going to always gravitate towards their own, but at the same time, there are many laws in many different African nations to where they're very strict on buying land, and they make it that way because they're very protection. They practice protectionism.
Seriously?
So a lot of, excuse me.
Seriously, for real, strict in buying land?
Yeah, they do. They practice protectionism. They are. They do. They practice protectionism. And that's why Nigeria was one of the last to sign to the AU because they practice protectionism. They're very protective over their land, especially because in many African nations they're very tribal.
They don't
But
do
this
that
is
in
what
the
I
United
want to. This
States.
is what I
Oh
want to. This
boy.
is what I particularly
They
want to
don't do
get
that in the
into.
United States.
No,
Excuse me.
They don't practice protectionism in the United States.
Yes,
I
you
think
can
I,
they do.
I
They
you
think
can
they do
should.
barely buy
I
land in
think they do
America.
red
They do,
line in
and
the
they
United
should.
States. They do red line in here.
I'm not one to dispute any of this, but what I'm saying is that because after the Immigration Act in 1965, there has been a lot of immigrants that have been populating with the Black American community. One of the things I will say is that the Black American has been cut off from their lineage on the African continent. But since they allow a lot of these Africans to come to the US and populate with the
Oh.
Black American population, they have reconnected the Black American lineage to the continent to where you have a lot of Black Americans that are walking around that's within Black American society who have mixed lineage. Now, this
Yeah.
is to tell you something that in Black American society, they don't have a name for culturally for Black people who have mixed lineage of different Black people, but Africans do. Africans, they put people who have mixed black lineage, they call them half caste, just equally as they call a person who is mixed with black and white. They have mixed lineage, they call them half caste too. Both of these people are put into the same box. But Black Americans culturally do not have that. They don't have a name for Black people with mixed lineage. They just call them Black. So Black Americans don't understand that they have a lot of people within their community that have mixed lineage and that have access to Africa in ways that Black Americans never ever had access to Africa before. They have people within their community.
Sister, do you have your passport with you? Do you have your passport?
Yes.
Okay. So,
have you been to Africa before?
Yes.
Well, then, let me ask you this. I mean, well, if you've been here before, you know that nothing is what it seems. Like, okay, in Tanzania, you cannot buy land, but you can. I mean,
every country is different. Every country is different. Exactly. Every country has different laws. Every country is different. So what I am saying is that a lot of Africans have never even met each other until they came to the West, to the U.S. A lot of Africans, even in their own country, have never ever even traveled within their own country. What I'm saying is that because Black Americans are populated with African population to the continent, so they have people within their community who can get dual citizenship. These are going to be the people who are going to fight for you. These are going to be the people who are going to be able to go into African nations and go into the government, access land. These are going to be the people who's going to make the Pan-African dream that so many Black Americans really want to happen because they have access in ways that African nations cannot deny them. These people do not even have to step foot into the continent, and they will be able to get citizenship. They can open up a bank account the day that they step in. Are you able to do that? Were you able to do that? And now the reason why I'm saying this is because I know I am one of those people. I am one of those people.
Okay, yeah, actually, okay. I have not. My bank account is in America and stuff like that, and I'm working on getting a bank account here. Actually, through my wife, I can get one and stuff like that. I mean, but
you see how you have to go through all these. You see how you have to go through all these channels. What I am saying to you is that there are many people who would identify.
I would say,
to be honest,
excuse me, I'm saying there are many people who
to be honest, if you move anywhere, that's a process of migrating to anywhere. Even if you move around in America, you know what I mean? You have to set up your license in the new state. You have to get transfer your bank job. And I mean, furthermore,
that is not true, because in every country they have different laws and rules. The reason why he doesn't have a bank account because there are restrictions to people who are not citizens in their country from being able to get bank accounts as easily. So that's why even though he's living at this large, he doesn't have a bank account.
Sister, why are you driving at? Sister, why are you driving at? Like, seriously, man, why are you driving at?
What I'm trying to get Black Americans to understand is that they have jokers. They playing a game of spades. And in this game of spades, they have big jokers and little jokers. And there are people in their community that they don't realize who can access Africa in ways they cannot. And they don't realize that these people exist in their community. And these are the Black American people who have mixed lineage. That means that they are very similar to Obama. Obama had a Kenyan father, but he had a white mother. In the opposite direction for Black Americans is that it's going to be a Black American who has a Black American parent, and they're going to have some parent from Africa or even the Caribbean.
Sister, just let me tell you one thing. You can have your parents can be born in America, right? And you can still have access to the continent. Do you know why I say that? Because I know. No, let me finish. 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 Cool down. Cool down. Let me talk. Let me say this.
Okay,
there's a guy called Dan Foster, right? This guy came from Washington. Like he migrated to Nigeria in the 2000s. Okay. He got tired of the States. He was in the army. He left because he was doing DJ and radio stuff. But he came to Nigeria, and this guy became one of the coolest radio presenters in Cool FM. Dan Foster, DF, is one of my best guys on Cool FM. He has gone to other radio stations. Cool guy. This is a brother that came to Nigeria in the 2000s, and now he's fully a Nigerian citizen. Okay, this is back in the 2000s. All right, so there's not like oh, your mother needs to be from the continent, your dad needs to be from the Americas. Bullshit. If it happens, it will definitely happen. If that's just the thing.
Let me just say this. What I was trying to say is that unfortunately, the main thing that matters in Africa, the main bridge is green. I hate to say it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to have a negative stereotype about Africa, yes, if you got bridge, you can kind of
make it happen.
Yes, the money.
That is not what I'm talking about. And there is a point that is being missed. See, the whole thing about when Dinas would get on here and he would talk about Pan-Africanism and that Black Americans has a point with the ADOS movement and that there is not it's not being reciprocated. It's that let me finish, please. Let me finish.
Okay.
Is that he would sit there and he would say that where is the excess? People, they have this whole thing with Ghana. Some people are looking at it like, okay, this is just a gimmick for tourism, but where is the true excess? And what
Ghana just gave out a few hundred dual citizenships. They're giving out citizenships now.
Oh God.
Okay, that is false. Where is it? What I am saying to you is that these people do not want you there for real. They want you to come there. They do not want you there for real.
I know where this is gonna end.
Because you're still yet Iris, you're still yet to talk about what are the options in America, and that's what you're disputing people.
We know
you're disputing people matriculating in Africa, and everybody on this panel is telling you that that's false. And also, the chat room wants to know, where have you been in Africa? The chat room doesn't. They want to know, where have you visited?
Port Harcourt. I can tell you.
Wait, is it Port Harcourt? Port Harcourt. Is it Port Harcourt?
I can tell you the tribe that I am connected to. I can tell you the tribe that I am connected to. Lineage.
You're breaking up really bad. I couldn't hear
you.
Wait.
That I can tell you what lineage my lineage is. I have Black American lineage and I have African lineage. So with that being said, what I am telling you is not false. I give you the truth that these people in the realistic of everything, if Black Americans were to come to Africa, they will dominate. And they will have access to all of Africa because they have been populating with all of Africa for 50 years. And they don't even realize it. They have access in Africa in ways that they have been reconnected to the continent through descendants of populating with all type of Africans that America had brought to America due to the Immigration Act of 1965. They have plenty of people among them who have mixed lineage. And people don't want to realize that a lot of Africans come to America. They've been banging all different type of women. They have all.
Oh God.
They don't have African fathers. This is the truth.
Hold on, what I missed? Well, hold on, I can't
wait,
banging all type of Black American women and white women.
Danas, I got stuff.
Didn't know his
I'm lost.
That is the truth. That is the truth.
Wait, sister.
I'll give you an artist. I'll give you. Excuse me.
What happened? Okay, what did I miss?
You missed a lot, bro.
You missed a lot.
the past 50 years have been in America having sex and populating with the Black American community, and they've been making all type of babies around and have abandoned them with Black women, and these children are Black Americans.
Iris, Iris, the chat room still wants to know, what African country have you been to?
Nigeria. I'm half Nigerian. I told you my tribe is Afrika.
Okay.
Port Harcourt. Let me say Port Harcourt girl now. Yeah, Port Harcourt girl, Afrika. Yeah. Yeah, Port Harcourt girl now, Afrika.
I don't speak
But
that.
you sound kind of resentful that the Black African men have mated with Black American women. Am I missing that, or is that true?
I don't think resentful. I'm not resentful because I have a very close relationship with my father. And that's why I know my family in Nigeria. That's how I go to Nigeria.
I know where this one is going to. Sorry, I
was raised in America and I'm Black American.
Okay.
I was raised in America and I'm Black American.
But you have Nigerian lineage through African River State.
Please let me finish. Please let me finish. I have access to Nigeria in ways because I have a sister, I have an older sister, I have Black American family. I have access to Nigeria in ways that they cannot access. As soon as I set foot down in Nigeria, I was able to open up a bank account. That's not the case for every Black American that goes and visits Nigeria. That's not even the case for a Black American who live in Nigeria for a year. They cannot do that. I am able to buy land. I am connected to people who can get me things in ways that is legit. Even though there's a lot of things that they do with money that I can do with money, but at the same time, there's legit. If I wanted to run for office, I can because I have citizenship, and I didn't even have to go to the country to get it.
You're Nigerian.
And a passport.
You're Nigerian. That's
you that Black. I would tell you that when I go to Nigeria, I am going there for Black Americans. I'm not going there for Nigerians. Yeah, Nigerians are in America for Nigerians. Nigerians are not in America for Black Americans. And I can tell you and guarantee you that when I go to Nigeria, I'm not going there for Nigerians. I'm going there for Black Americans.
Okay, but you're Nigerian.
And I guarantee you there are a lot of Black Americans within your community.
Hello.
If they knew
I gotta mute you, rapper. Okay, I gotta mute. She's Nigerian, so she's talking about.
But she came on and said that the Pan-African dream is not really realistic, and that's how it started. And then we all,
But did she say her father is Nigerian?
Yeah.
Nigerian. Dinas, that girl now, Afrika girl from Port Harcourt, Afrika River State. She just no one claim the American side. She no one claim the Nigerian side. Man, speaking for pidgin.
But she's using the Nigerian side because she said she has access to a passport. She can run for office, get a bank account. Yeah, because you're Nigerian.
She says she has African American DNA.
It doesn't matter. Her father is Nigerian.
Which one be African American DNA?
The funny thing was she came over saying, well, the Chinese and the Indians are running the thing. But then she said, well, if you're a regular ADOS African American, you don't have access and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, so which is it? Is it that you can't come over because you aren't connected directly from Africa? Or is it, Chinese or people with money can come over there and set up shop there too? You know what I'm saying? I think it was more of a daddy's issue type thing. Maybe the father, that's what it is.
Daddy issue.
Yeah.
You're Nigerian, but you don't mess with Nigerians. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, go ahead.
Let me say this because you're making speculations that are not true. I'm very connected to my father. I love my father dearly. I would fight and I would die for my father.
Yeah, but you're talking as if you have daddy issues.
How can I have daddy issues? My father raised me.
Okay.
How can I have daddy issues? I just got to saying I love my father. I would die for my father. I would kill for my father. There is nobody. My father is Nigerian. My identity is
Thank you very much. Thank you for saying that. Jeez.
So why do you feel that way though? That's the disconnect. Why do you feel the
Why
way
do
you
I
feel?
feel what? What is
You
it
know,
that you saying that I'm not feeling?
okay, you were saying that it's unrealistic to think Black Americans can go over to Africa, but you love your father, but you feel that we are misguided by thinking we can go over there and
You're not going to be able to go there because the people who exist in those lands have been existing there for thousands and thousands of years, and it's the same people who was there prior to prior to Black American ancestors being slaves. Those people still are in the same land. The Ijo people are still in the same land. The Igbo people are still in the same land. When you go to Nigeria, they basically call the lands of the area by the people tribe Igbo land, Yoruba land. That's how they still identify with what area territory the area is by the tribe. So what I'm saying,
so who's going to stop us? Who's stopping us going right now?
Excuse me?
Who's going to stop us from going to Africa, getting land, and reintegrating? Who stopped Dynas from gaining Nigerian citizenship by meeting a tribal king? What you're saying is not making sense. There's plenty of people.
Prince Adewale, don't forget Prince Adewale. That's his name for now.
What I'm saying to you is that Dynas has citizenship. He was given citizenship. I have birth citizenship.
Exactly,
excuse me. Let me finish. Let me finish.
That refutes your point.
Let me tell you something. You have to listen. The type of citizenship that Dynas has, it can be taken away. If they feel like Dynas is a problem for them, they can snatch his citizenship away.
They no go collect they no go collect in citizenship. We are not like Cracker. We are not like Cracker that collects citizenship. We are not like them. We are not like them.
The elites will do it. The elites, you do not
the
run
elites won't do anything. They have given citizenship. We are not like Cracker that gives you that would give you something with the left hand and collect with the right hand.
The elites will do it.
The elites won't do anything. Donald Trump will do it for you and collect your thing, but he won't do it for Dynas. Sorry about that. Sorry, man. Sorry.
The elites will do it. If they feel like Dynas is a problem, if he is powerful, they will get rid of him. They do it to their own people. Then you have Kimmy on there. Then you have Kimmy, what's his name? What's the guy from the Congo, the communist guy? Then you have him on there, Dynas.
See, sister. If I become a problem in Nigeria, they won't collect my citizenship.
Kimmy Seba?
Yeah, didn't they deport him from his own country? Then he get deported from his own. He doesn't even have citizenship in his own country.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Why he's not in his own country? They deported him. They kicked him out.
No, he's not. He's in his
country. They can't deport him from his own country, sister. Why you think?
They didn't deport him from his own country. He said
no, they didn't. What are you talking about? All right, listen. Are you gonna listen?
You know what?
Are you going? Hold on. Hold on. Are you gonna listen? Kimmy Seba is from Benin. He lived in France. He lives in Benin now, where he's from. He didn't deport him from Benin. I was just with him in March in Benin.
Okay, so I could be wrong on that, and I can stand on that. I can be wrong on
Sister,
that.
you are wrong, go. Jeez.
No, I am not.
But you know what? Let's say for a minute. Let's say for the sake of this conversation, she's right. Okay. No, come on, serious. Let me say this. Let me say this.
I'm telling the truth.
Let me say this. Let's say for the sake of this conversation that you are right. With all the information you gave us, still, with what's going on here in the United States, which place is better for us to live? That's my question.
This is the whole thing. Is that Black Americans have to be in a position of power. And what I'm saying that the position of power that they're going to get is through the continent of Africa, and that they are going to be able to access the continent of Africa through the people that is already in their community, who is connected through lineage already. Through lineage, who can access the continent in ways that they cannot. Black Americans are saying, please let me talk. Every time I talk,
wait, sister. And me that's saying this. No, I'm not gonna allow you to speak. Wait. Wait, see, let me say this. And me that's living in the continent, I'm saying that is so not true. You can still access the content even if you don't have any.
Excuse me?
Repeat it. All right. What about? I mean, okay. If there's anything you want to share in closing, so I mean, we gotta move on.
What I want to share is that I want Black Americans to know that they have to use the people that they got. They do not need Africans in the way that they believe that they do. They have people within their community that can access.
And you be Okirika girl wait there for half Nigerian, half American. I beg, forget.
Stop interrupting me. That they have people within their community who can access the countries in Africa in ways that they were not able to do before, and that if they utilize these people, they can enter Africa.
Okay, well, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Give me a list of the people.
What do you mean? Give me a list of the people.
Yeah, you said that there's people in our hold on. You said there's people in our community that we could leverage to access Africa. Give me the names.
What's one of the people? What's the one of the rappers that you?
One of the rappers. Oh my God.
Okay. Did you know that Tyler? Did you know Tyler the Creator? Did you know Tyler the Creator is
Tyler
half
the Creator is a clown. Tyler the Creator is a clown. He's a clown.
Did you know that he is half Nigerian though? Did you know that?
We can go to Africa and marry up in Africa.
Did you not know that Tyler the Creator? Did you not know? That's not what you asked me. You didn't ask me if he was a clown. You said give me a list of people. I gave you a name. I gave you a name. And what and on top of that, there was a fallacy question because I am telling you there are people within your community who have half lineage. I just say I am one. Tyler the Creator, they are all within your community.
Tyler the Creator is no one is getting nothing done in Nigeria via Tyler the Creator.
I'm not. It's not even. That is not even something to entertain. What I am saying in my closing, what I am saying is that there are people within your community who have half lineage all throughout the diaspora, not just only Africa, all throughout the diaspora. And because of the Immigration Act of 1965, when they allow these immigrants to come over, they do not allow they told them not to assimilate, but to acculturate. So a lot of these immigrants have dual citizenship. And this dual citizenship was granted to their descendants. So you have people, and they have been populating with the Black American community for over 50 years. You have Black Americans, people who identify as Black Americans, who have lineage in the diaspora, especially most importantly, Africa. And they have all different tribes. There's so many tribes in Nigeria. You're going to have so many different Black Americans who have lineage of tribes in Nigeria and Ghana and so many other places that they can all access these countries in ways that Black Americans.
Let me ask you, can you give me an example of where the idea you just gave is actually working?
Well, the thing about it is that they have to put into action. That's exactly why I said that Black Americans are holding. I said that Black Americans.
It's still flowing through the pipe.
Black Americans are holding the big joke.
It's still through the pipeline,
but they don't know how to play the game. If they use these people,
right? We try to Tyler the Creator, right? Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I guarantee you. You know what? One of the things that Black Americans have that a lot of Black people in the world do not have, they have visibility. I guarantee you that if Tyler's Creator go to Nigeria, especially how they are so into Black Americans, that he would have more people will line up to see him than they would line up to see Davido. They were more people will line up to see Tyler the Creator. They will line up to see.
No, Dana, what's the difference?
Look. I'm just gonna say this because
Black Americans
respectfully, Iris.
Iris, we gotta go. Iris, we gotta go. Iris.
You know what I'm saying is true. You know what?
Did she just say that Tyler the Creator would sell out in Nigeria over Davido?
This is not even about.
I just want to go ahead and.
But what she was saying, I could marry a woman over in Africa and get access to the same thing she's claiming.
Yeah.
I just want to say also I just want to say for our viewers in the chat room, that, you know, that is definitely not what we're promoting. You know, we just stated before Iris joined the call that you need to integrate with people on the continent. And second of all, the Black community in America is severely challenged already. There's very, very little cohesiveness there. So what was being proposed, in essence, is not realistic. What she was saying was not realistic because there's not a platform to pivot, you know, a group of people from America together to Africa. It makes more sense to venture to Africa, connect with the pre-existing community that is there, make your networks, and then do that. And second of all, you know, because I do realize there are a lot of people that watch us that are very impressionable, and they don't have a lot of information about Africa, and they can easily be discouraged. So I don't want you to be discouraged by someone who doesn't really seem that knowledgeable about Africa. It took us several times asking her, you know, where have you been? Otherwise, she could have established early in the conversation, look, I'm of Nigerian descent and this is my story, and, you know, let us know. And it seemed like it was a little dodgy until we kept prepping her to answer that. So, you know, I would just promote, I've traveled Africa probably a bit more than she has. And I would tell you the networks I've established on the continent have been the most beneficial ones that I have. I do also have people in the diaspora that I'm connected to, and they have been helpful too. But nobody's going to be as beneficial as the people that's on the ground, because they have access to all the information. Just like James said, he was going to find an apartment that was like double the cost until he connected with a local person. That person hooked them up with something better, less expensive, because they know what's going on in their community. People that are in America, they don't, you know, especially if they are not familiarized with back home and they're not regularly traveling and stuff, they're going to be as disconnected as someone, you know, a Black American person, rather than someone who's living in the environment. So, you know.
And let me just, I was going to say, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and close out. So everyone, if you want to make your final, you know, statements, you know, it's
okay. Prince Adewale, may I start my own? I just want to say for the sister, is as if she just came here to divide the whole thing. Like she says she's from Okrika. Okrika is in River State. Okay, so why is she so anti a cable on? And she's, you know, just, I don't know, it's like one of those people that just came in and wanted to just, you know, wreck your channel today. But thank God I was here to, you know, jeez. God. All right, I'm done.
No, go ahead, Jenna. What do you want? Anything you want to share in closing?
I do. You know,
shout out your page too.
Oh yeah, you guys. I'm an African superstar, the one and only. A lot of people from Search for Uhuru are already involved with my channel. I put my link in the chat room for you guys. But yeah, I just want to continue to promote you guys to gain knowledge on Africa, travel there. You are able to make a life there. There are a lot of opportunities there. You know, by all means, if you're comfortable in America and you feel like that's where you want to be, or you're comfortable in Europe and that's where you want to be, that's fine. But like I pointed out earlier, we have an international panel tonight that is telling you, you know, about the opportunities in Africa, encouraging you to go there. Your options are going to be limited in the West. If you don't believe me, just ask all them other people that died in the past that did not achieve their dreams. We have a lot of prospects in Africa. So if you like me, if you like my message, if you support pro-Black and Pan-African subject matters, please, I welcome you to my channel. Again, my link is in the chat, and I'll put it in the comments later. I appreciate you, Prince Adewale, for giving me an opportunity to speak and share your panel. Big shout outs to James in Kenya, Mr. Pirate Brain down in Texas, and Police Brutality in Canada. You guys were a great panel. Yes. We had a lot of fun, and I appreciate, look forward to seeing you guys again. Yeah, take care. Bye, Dynas.
Bye-bye. Go ahead, James. Let me get my son some water.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I am going to start a channel. It's called African Movement. And it's going to be a straightforward, step-by-step process of how someone can move to Africa and stuff like that, and the practicality. Because, you know, it's not like, I mean, she's right. I mean, it is a little challenging to get your paperwork straight to become a citizen here, but it's actually very easy to live here. And like I say, again, I can talk a little bit about travel, how to save money, how to get started, how to do a little research, and just stand by. But then I'm gonna try to jump on a couple more more of these hangouts till I figure out how I want to get started. But it's definitely doable if you want to do it. Again, thank you for your time, and I'll be around in the I'll be around here, and you'll see more of me. Thank you.
Peace, James.
All right.
Yeah, my name is Dave. I go by Mr. Pirate Brain on my YouTube channel. And I have another channel called It's Time to Think About It. On the Mr. Pirate Brain channel, I post all original music. I have never been to Africa. I want to preface that, but I have lived in other countries before. And my move, I want to ride out the last quarter or last 30% of my life or whatever in Africa. I don't want to spend it here because of everything that's going on and how difficult it is. Maybe this lady was right. Maybe there are some challenges with paperwork, but I do know people in Ghana. Ghana just handed out 200 and something dual citizenships this last month. So I know it is doable. And once you have dual citizenship in one country, you can travel freely through a lot of other countries. So I wouldn't let, which I'm not saying it's not true what she's saying, but I wouldn't let that bother me because the dangers that we have here far outweigh whatever challenges we might have if we move there. That's just in my opinion. And I want to thank you, Diners, for letting me come on, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you go to Search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, Search for Uhuru. Peace.
Peace.